Hey everybody, this is Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is like a behind-the-scenes Wine Library TV kind of rogue roadside. We don't even have glasses. We're gonna share this wine, just swigging it from the bottle. Just gave a talk at FOA, Future of Web Apps, here in the UK in London. And why don't you tell the Vayner Nation who you are?
Right, my name's Steve Layton. I'm a massive Vayniac. Been following for around about 12, 18 months. I'm a coffee roaster, so I kind of buy and import coffee from all around the world.
Love that. And
taste is really important to me, and that's where my kind of love of wine comes from now. I'm no expert, I just know what I like and I enjoy, and I kind of enjoy experimenting with varietals and really kind of expanding my palate.
Yep.
And that's what Wine Library did for me. It kind of gave me an opportunity to kind of grow my palate, and I was kind of starting to get descriptors that I could use in the coffees, which I found really inspiring. And so I kind of got into you a little bit differently to what most people do. I'm a big fan of your keynotes, hence me being here. I'm no techie, I don't do any programming, you know, I run a server for my business, but don't kind of do anything. But I loved your keynotes because for me, business is about crushing it, you know. We're going to crush it, because I was in a job that I hated. I was a prison officer, prison guard, locking people up, and nothing more inhumane than locking another human being up.
Sure.
And it was killing me, and I sat there one night and I thought, I just can't do this anymore. So I went home, and while I was working, I bought a coffee roaster. I was roasting in my garage at home, kind of chugging away. I built a website, the worst website you've ever seen in your life. It clunked along and it was crunchy, but we earned a bit of money. So we put a bit back into the business, but I carried on working, and I was up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning responding to emails, doing that whole kind of, and that's why it became inspiring to me. Then I thought, well, what's this Wine Library TV lark? So I kind of hooked into that and was like, whoa. And I kind of saw an opportunity for my business, because we're tasting, we're selling a product, we're kind of getting it out there. So
same model. Exactly
the same model. So I do a website which is called inmymug.com.
Link that up.
Oh, Mott's linking it up, man. Mott's going to link loads up. And basically I chucked it out there. I thought, I'm just going to do it. And the first one was awful. And I got a bit better and a bit better. And it's still awful now, but it's a lot better than
How many episodes?
47.
And how many people recognize you now in like bar spots?
The most unbelievable. I was in Euston Station in London, and I was standing there looking at the platform times coming in, and this guy runs up and he says, "You're Steve Layton." And I went, yes, I am.
It's an amazing feeling,
and I was just like, "Oh, what, you're in my mugs?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna go, bye," and just disappeared off. And it was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling.
And you know, we're not knocking down trees like you are, but we did a really clever thing. Well, I don't want to say I did a really clever thing, but we monetized it. We turned it into a subscription. So every week, the Friday, we send the coffee out to the customers. On the Monday, when the video goes live, they've got the coffee and they taste it with me.
Absolutely, it's such a layup of a business model.
Yeah. So it was just like, but it just brought people in, because then all of a sudden it exploded, and we've had about 170,000 downloads in 11 months.
Not bad at all.
We knocked Jamie Oliver. You know Jamie Oliver?
Yeah.
We knocked Jamie Oliver from #2 in the food podcast chart. In fact, we were above you for about 4 weeks.
Nice.
In the UK. I was like, get in. And just kind of, you know, just show people what we did. There was no fluff. There was no, because I loved that earlier about the fluff. I was like, no fluff, no BS. It was just like, this is the coffee. This is what I'm tasting. Taste it with me. Let's taste it together.
Good for you.
And it's kind of turned our business that was reasonably successful, considering we've been going. I mean, I left work 3.5 years ago. The business is 7 years old, so I did 3.5 years of working.
Take care, mates. Stay well. Thank you.
I spent kind of 3.5 years of working all day, going home, working all night. I'd be up at 4 o'clock in the morning roasting coffee. In my lunch break, I used to take the parcels to the post office to post out.
I love it.
You know, and that's why the whole kind of keynote stuff, and certainly the crush. I mean, I've got the 2 chapters that you've released so far, and I'm on the Daily Gary V, and I'm just like, yeah, and hence why I'm here talking to you now. You did a tweet out, and it was like, there's a funny story with this one though.
Go ahead.
When you did that, it was 2 o'clock UK time. I'd been out with the boys, we'd been celebrating, we'd been having a really good time, and I turns at home and I say, see this tweet? Oh, I'm on Ustream. So I dives into Ustream, and Gary's there kind of hustling, pushing the book, saying who's going to buy the book. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go at this. So I said, well, if I buy $50, can I come on Wine Library TV?
Yep.
And Gary went, yeah.
You sure can.
So I bought $50 because I was incredibly drunk. I woke up in the morning, I was like,
what did I do?
What did I do? And then I checked my email and I'd sent the receipt to the wrong email address because I was that drunk.
I love it.
And I was like, oh shit, I've spent...
And now, don't worry, we'll edit it.
Sorry, Mark. But I spent like the whole money thing. I've spent like $1,000 on books here. What am I doing? And then I resent the email. I thought I'm going to send it just in case he picks it up. And literally, and I know how many emails you get. Within 10 minutes, it was a talk to my man. Was it Matt?
Yes.
Yeah. Talk to Matt. Matt has been an absolute superstar.
He's the best.
He's just a top man. And he was just like, yeah, no problems. Where do you want to do it? And part of me was like desperate to come to Wine Library. I thought I'd
love for you to come. We'll make that happen one day.
Yeah?
Yeah, you need to come.
Oh man,
you have to come.
Just awesome.
So let's get into the wine.
Yes, yeah, let's get in because right, 3 wines. I didn't want to bring wines that were really important to me because if you said bad things about them, I'd be devastated. So what I did, I've got this one here.
Yep.
I've got a friend in New Zealand called Carl Sara, who's a big fan of yours.
Okay.
And when he heard I was coming, he's the New Zealand barista champion. Finished second in the world in 2007 and 7th this year. Great guy. Sent me 2 bottles from New Zealand. It's a Pinot Noir. It's 2007. And he said basically it doesn't get out of New Zealand. This is something that...
And I've heard about the Gippsland Valley Central Otago Pinot. I have never had it. I'm excited. When I saw you bring this, I was like, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, he said there's basically 2 vintages you've got to try, 2007, 2004. And he sent me 2 bottles, but he sent me 2 2007 by mistake. Okay. So he was like, but he says this is the best one.
Now you've got one.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
You won. All right, then what do we have here?
Right, this one is, I'm a massive fan of Argentinian wines. I think it's because I'm a lover of Central and South American coffees. Sure. That I just kind of love that whole new world space.
You to that. Yep.
Reason I brought this one, this is from my friend Rupert, who works at a wine store local to us, and they're big about their coffee and I'm big about my wine, so we swapped coffee for wine and it's great. Nice. It's unoaked, no oak monster.
No oak monster.
So it's completely unoaked. I've got some stuff about this.
It's 30 Malbec, 30 Cab, 30 Syrah, 10 Petit Verdot.
That's the one, yeah. There's 1,300 bottles produced. Okay. So it's a very small outturn and a very big Malbec kind of taste coming through, which I adore. I love those kind of big, bold ones.
And then a Torrontés.
Torrontés, again, from the same estate, so it's from the Lorca's estate. Don't know massive amounts about it, apart from Rupert said it's your kind of wine because he watches like everyone as well.
Okay.
So
Rupert. Okay, great. So, let's get into it. So we're gonna swig from the same bottle. Man, you okay with that? Okay, that's good.
I'm gonna crush it. Wristband though, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what? How about this? How about mine?
It's never coming off.
All right, let's do it. Lorca, 2008 Torrontés. As you guys all know, I've been pushing Torrontés for a long time. It's a category of wine that a lot of people don't know about. It's a grape varietal that I think is extremely good with light foods, shellfish, and it's coming on the scene very hard. How much did this cost in the UK?
£13, so about $10.
Got it.
It's $10.
Got it. Awesome. Ready?
Yeah.
Little sniffy sniff from the bottle. A little harder than normal. Though I do get a little lemon and melon. Almost like it really smells a lot like cantaloupe. So, all right, give it a whirl.
Ooh, big melon.
Mm-hmm. No spit bucket. I'm on vacation.
It's late. It's all good. Whoa, peach Melba. That kind of whole.
Really peachy.
Really peachy.
What I love about Torrontés, and this one has it, maybe a hair low on it, is the acidity. Mm-hmm. But this is really showing pretty fresh. Obviously, this is a little bit of a rogue gangbuster. We're in the basement of this hall with no glasses. That's awesome. I'm loving it. But without the glasses, it's going to make it a little more unique, so you're going to have to bear with me.
This is hardcore.
This is hardcore WLTV.
Yeah.
UK version. But good acid, not great. I do get like a golden apple flavor. The peaches really sing to me. It's also considerably floral. There's a lot of white flower going on in this wine. I like it. I mean, but I'm a fan of Torrontés in general. But I think it's showing fairly well. It's not as dull. There's the Torrontés that I don't like is the one that's very watered down, lacks the acidity, though I am a little hair, like just a little shoulder, a hair worried about the acidity of this wine.
I think it's a bit warm as well. It's got a little bit of heat in there.
Well, yeah, that's going to have that because it's at room temperature.
No, but I mean a bit of heat in the old alcohol. It's kind of like, I feel a little bit of...
You like
that's
that?
Not forte. Not all the time.
Yeah.
But I love the peach in it. I think the peach is just out the park good. It's kind of creaminess. That's why I kind of went peach Melba, because I was just like, whoa, great mouthfeel.
It also has a little bit of like a lemon juice and a little lemon lime thing that I like, but not bad. I'd probably give this like an 88-point score. And at that price point, I think it's very fair.
Yeah, no, I think, it's good at that price point.
All right, now the Grand Apollo from Lorca. It's a blend, once again, 30% Cab, 30% Malbec, 30% Syrah, and 10 Petit Verdot. And any wine that has 10% Petit Verdot is already going to score better than normal with me because I'm addicted to the Petit Verdot.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of Rupert kind of being a bit too much of a Vaynerchuk geek.
He knew. He looked for the
Rupert,
thank you for the Petit Verdot. We'll talk about that.
And also with the Pinot note as well.
Yeah, I mean, give us a little bit of sniffy sniff. So, you get some blackberry on here. Obviously, with such a small nose, hole, it's really tough to get the sniffy sniff. This is taking sniffy sniff to a whole new level. Let's give it a whirl. What do you think?
I was expecting more tannins. I was expecting bigger, particularly from the aromas. I was like, but it's not. It's really mellow. Black fruit, bang on.
Agreed.
Black cherry, black grape, even a little bit of black currant in there.
Do you get a little tea-like flavor as well?
A little tea, and what I think I'm getting from that is the astringency of tea as well.
Yeah,
a little bit of the kind of, it's very drying, but I like it. I think with a steak, that would just be phenomenal. Good T-bone or ribeye.
I think his descriptions are point on in a lot of ways. What I would caution people that are looking at this wine is I find it a little bit hollow in the mid-palate. There was a considerable dip for me, like just, Casper the Friendly Ghost. It just disappeared on me for like a few seconds there. Good black fruit early on, literally almost tasting like cheap wine in the mid-palate. Like a $6 jug wine. Really, it just had this kind of cheap Merlot flavor to it. And then it comes on a little bit stronger on the tannins on the back end. A little too hollow and a little too lacking in that mid-palate for me to get too excited about this wine. I'm also a little bit concerned that the fruit's a little flabby. I wouldn't say the source of this fruit has me so excited. I do like the darkness, the Batman of it all, right? It's a dark kind of wine, but even though it's not oaked, it does feel a little creamy vanilla action. I should mention that. Yeah.
I think that as it's calmed down too, the creaminess has got bigger.
Yeah, I've tasted that along the way as well. The score is wine 83 points. This is a little bit of a pass for me. I'm sorry, Rupert. I love you. And maybe with a glass and airing and decanting, there's so many variables.
That was
here.
one thing you did say to me about this one. This one needed like 12 hours, and it's open like 10 minutes.
Right, and
not decanted.
Not in a glass. Yeah. So we didn't really give it a shot.
But it's, I mean, that one's around about $18. Yeah. So it's a
I wouldn't pay
$1.8
for the way it is right now.
Yeah.
But again, we didn't give it a fair shot.
Actually, did I say dollars? I've got to say bones.
Bones. Very good. Very good. All right, and finally, the Gibson Valley Central Otago Pinot Noir 2007 vintage. Central Otago, I like how this says, contains approximately 8.6 standard drinks. I've never seen that before. 10 months in barrel, and I'm excited about this. Central Otago, to me, still, right now, along with Santa Barbara region of California, if they stop putting Syrah and making them too big, Anderson Valley in California, and then obviously Burgundy, and then some parts of Chile, Casablanca, for example. But Central Otago, in a lot of people's opinion, the #2 place in the world for Pinot Noir right now, right behind Burgundy. Some people debate that that's California with the Santa Barbara region. They're a tad pricey, the Central Otago Pinots. What kind of price was this?
I don't know.
He wrote a novel?
He's written me a really long letter, and
we should thank him for that.
Well, I've got to, Carl Sari's he's a bit of a hero to me, and for this guy to write to me and send me 2 bottles of wine, Carl, just...
Thank you so much.
And this was lovely. It kind of went into it's harvested over April and May. It comes from three regions, incredibly unique, and one of his favourites from his cellar. So thank you for sharing one of your favourites from the cellar, because I just think that's awesome.
It has almost like this bacon meets bubblegum flavor. If there was a bacon flavored bubblegum that was made by Bazooka because it's that kind of style gum. That's
what
this smells like.
When you start talking bacon, because you do bacon a few times, I'm kind of going, get out, but that is bacon, but it's smoky bacon, it's that dried,
it really is.
Kind of really crunchy bacon, and it's
right?
there. Yeah, hang on a sec. Smell that.
Carson,
smell that.
You're right.
Isn't that wild?
A little bit, dude. I got no ordering skills, you guys do.
Gary V, no BS at all. It's bang on. That is just like it's that dried, crispy bacon.
It really is.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot.
So you're not meant to run off the camera on Wine Library.
What are you picking up here?
Very different wine, incredibly different. It's like I'm getting it's like a little bit of soapiness on the front end, which is really strange. It's got massive acidity.
Are you getting greenness?
Yeah.
Like some green components?
Yeah, almost like it's not
avocado.
I get like almost like an avocado. I'm kind of more. I don't know. It's like pea kind of greenness.
Green pea.
And I don't like it to start off with. It's just like too much.
And this is where it gets really funny. This is where you're gonna tap into my palate. This gets almost like this almost tastes to me like an imaginary blend of Pinot Noir and Cabernet Franc from the Loire Valley. It has so much of a soil, barnyardy soil, like soil. Like soil.
Yeah, very much.
Definitely, I get almost like this avocado. If you eat avocado like I do, which is you have no patience and you're completely clumsy in the kitchen, and you just take it and bite it and open it and take out the ball. I don't know the kid. You just eat it. You get part of the skin a lot of times, so you get this bitterness that this brings to the table as well. The bacon flavor comes through as well. They're sour but ripe cherries on this. It's very complex. It's green and earthy to an nth degree. This is probably the most Burgundian Loire-ish Central Otago Pinot that I've come across.
Do you know why I like it though? Because my palate's challenged. I'm kind of like, what is that? You know, I kind of quite like that one.
You're kind of like a schoolgirl that likes the bad boy. It's like a challenge.
No, seriously,
you want to convert it.
Some of the coffees, I kind of find these coffees when we're cupping on the table, and I'm just like, whoa.
What is that?
Whoa, and you get stuck because it's naturally processed or there's something funky going on, and that's that. That's a Sumatra. That's a Sumatra coffee. That's a dry processed hurrah. It's challenging. It's kind of like.
I like how you're dropping a couple of nuggets here. You had to. You had to drop a little bit.
Trying to hustle.
That was very
I've
good.
listened. But no, I think that is challenging. It's big. It's got loads going on in that. It's a little bit of pepper as well. Maybe it's
Look how nice this article is. Carl. You and I need to drink some wine together because I totally agree with you. This is your style. This is so up my style. This is a wine that I would never let wine library employees buy for the store. It is absolutely not the norm palate. It has, just like you said, you started off with disliking it. Now you're
almost
fascinated.
Soapy to start off with. It was like, well, it shouldn't taste soapy, but then it just kind of.
You're fascinated by flavors and scents with the coffee and into this subject matter. You're passionate about wine and curious about it, and you're going to give it the benefit of the doubt for all the things it has going on. But from a delicious factor, there's a lot of people that are going to be turned off by this wine. It's very kind of mean. It's kind of like that bitter old man. It really is, like back to that bad boy thing. It's like that bitter old man, but you're like, if I can cut through the facade, he's got some crazy World War II stories, and he'll be my friend. Like that classic movie with the grumpy old man, but he's like really a good dude. That's what this wine is. It's very complicated and difficult, but I'm feeling that if you put this away to 3 to 6 years, if you do let this decant, if you get a nice lamb dish and pair it with a wine like this, it's bitter tannins that it comes with, and its greenness, which I think will blow over with decanting and age. Will really show that beautiful red fruit that it has on the back end. Again, that almost like a bowl of mix of regular cherries and sour cherries. And I like it a lot. I agree with you. It's a complicated wine. For my palate, this is a 91 plus point wine. Again, for the masses, we wouldn't even carry this wine. So if you understand what you're getting into.
Is this where we go in the back cave? And
this is the wine nerd cave. And absolutely. This is definitely that kind of wine. I'm curious, if that's like in 20s, 30 range in the US, that would be a really fun wine for people.
I now wish, because it is very young, I think you're right, this needs to what would the 04 have been like?
Absolutely.
It could have been out the park good.
Yeah, but he said 207s.
The 04.
Steve, question of the day.
Man, I have spent hours, days, weeks thinking about the question of the day. But I want to do it a little bit differently. I want to do, you've got to do an action of the day.
Wow.
As well as a question of the day.
You know what? It's your show.
The action of the day, go and find family, friend, loved one, somebody that you work with, and go and give them a big hug. Because I like hugs.
You love where
people don't hug.
I love where you're going with that.
So go and hug somebody who you haven't hugged,
and take a picture
surprise them.
And put a link underneath in the comments.
Oh man,
we get pumped with that, right? Take a picture of your hug.
And
you're gonna like freak out somebody and be like, well, hold on.
And my question of the day is, I remember in 2002, I had my epiphany moment in coffee. I was in a cupping table and I cut this one coffee, and it wasn't the best coffee in the world. It wasn't the kind of the most stunning, but it did everything right. It ticked every single box. You know, it wasn't overly acidic, it wasn't overly sweet, but it was just balanced, controlled, and it's still now what I measure every single coffee that we buy against. I'm sure you must have a wine where it just suddenly went, click, that makes sense.
I had a wine that really made me understand that I loved wine.
Yeah.
It was the first wine that I tasted actual things besides red wine. Yeah. You know, I was already deeply in the wine business and an entrepreneur, but at 22 I hadn't tasted a lot of stuff yet. And I had an Amarone that really tasted like a Snickers bar, chocolate. And so much so I called my mom. So I always think about that wine as being the first wine that I actually tasted something. It wasn't, oh, this tastes, you know, I mean, those early days where I was like tasting wine, like, what do you get? And I'm like, you know, white wine, red wine. When I finally got that flavor, I knew that when I tasted that, I was like, oh crap, this whole industry is not full of crap. There are other things.
Exactly, and that was this coffee because it was just everything I wanted of it. I mean, we still stock it now. I love it, like, passionately. It's like, anybody says to me, what coffee should I try this?
Okay.
If they're not sure. So for me, that was my epiphany moment.
Okay,
so what was your epiphany moment in wine? What was the moment where in wine you suddenly went, do you know what? I'm going to go and search the internet for a guy who does video podcasts so I can expand my palate and learn more. And I think, you know, that whole kind of epiphany moment where you become passionate about something. And it may not be wine, if you know, maybe there's an epiphany moment in something else, but I just think that would be a really cool story to read.
Thank you so much.
You know,
you're a great guy.
we've done our hugs.
You, with a little bit of me.
Well, you used to finish with you with a little bit of me. We're changing the wine world.
Whether they like it or not. You want me to do that?
Not. Man, I haven't heard that for like so long.
It's been like a year and a half.
I love that ending.
You, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world. Whether they like it or not. Woo! Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you.
Brilliant. Awesome.